credible Italian media sources saying Binotto was out.
Out, yeah.
Ferrari quickly jumped in, said that's not the case.
At this point.
Right? Because that's the thing about Formula One. Usually when something comes out, it's true.
It's true, yeah. No.
There is smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. We called this way back in the summertime. I think right before the summer break. We're like, this guy has to go.
Yeah.
Do you see Binotto coming back next year as team principal?
No. If they do, they're going to have another year like this. I just think a big part of this whole issue is the confidence in your team principal, right? The whole team principal is the one that gives the confidence to your team. If your drivers and your engineers and stuff like that don't have the confidence in the team, it's because they don't have a confidence in their team principal. The team principal is the one that puts the people in the right places. If they're not putting the people in the right place, the team's not going to be successful. There's going to be errors like there was this year. And it's not like it's his first year doing this. He's had several years here doing this. He's taken over a Ferrari team that was kind of in shambles as well before. Kind of went into the Vettel and the Vettel Hamilton battle when they should have won the championship
several times,
right? And then they changed it up again. And I think at this point, Binotto, maybe it isn't the answer. They have to look at it internally and figure out why this all happened. Who was the decision? Like, why were these decisions being made? And who was the one making the decisions? And who put that person into that position to make those decisions?
Right.
Like
it might not even be somebody trackside. Who needs to go.
Exactly. So it might be Binotto might be overpowered by other people. You never know, right? There's a board of directors out there that you don't know if one of those board of directors has a higher say than Binotto, but you never know, really. I think in the end, Binotto's got to kind of self-reflect as well about why this all happened, and Ferrari's got to realize, maybe he's not the answer. Maybe there's another answer.
That's an interesting point you made, because we often focus on the drivers, right? And you're saying, Perez needs to walk away. He needs to, do some self-reflection. Leclerc should be happy finishing P2 because, he could have easily been more competitive for the championship. But nobody really discusses the team principles or, the wheel gun guys. Or and I think that's very interesting because there's a stark contrast in regards to management styles on the grid. We were just saying Red Bull is very 1-2.
Yeah.
Right? If you sign up going against Matt, if you sign that contract for Red Bull Racing, you are signing that with the understanding that you are number 2 next to Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look down the paddock, Mercedes is very much, you're free to go racing. Don't do anything stupid. We don't want a Hamilton Rosberg scenario, right?
Yeah.
But you live and you learn from something like that. And even with Binotto, or I should say Ferrari, because I don't think it was his tenure at the time. But the Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc dynamic was very toxic, right? And it didn't seem, and once again, in Brazil, it comes to a head. Brazil is a great place.
Yeah, I love it. I saw that meme where it's like Formula One calendar for 2023, and it's just
Brazil.
Brazil.
Like, we would be happy with that, like club racing style. Right? But it just seems like a very toxic place, or that relationship. And I think at the end, it's just because, like you said, there is no leadership that says this is the way it is. You don't like it, lump it.
Yeah.
Go race somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree. And it is a very, very, very big team sport. Not everyone realizes what's going on in the background. Like, there is a team of engineers that are at the factory watching every second of that car on the track, diagnosing what's going on. And it's why all of a sudden you'll get a call over the radio being like, shut the car off.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not the engineers on the wall that are doing this. It's the engineers at home that are at the factory that have 200 people looking at the car, and the one person looks at the one gauge and he goes, if that gets to this, tell us, because if something's going to go wrong, right?
It's like NASA when you look at like a rocket ship going to space. That's what it looks like for real.
Like, and it's, yes, they have the engineers at the track to kind of see what the on-track stuff is happening, but when you look at the entire big picture of an F1 team, it is a circus of how much stuff is going on in the background. The driver is just the tip of the iceberg. There is only that much that you see. everything that's happening in the background is actually pretty incredible about how this all comes in unison and works together in the end.
Yeah.
And you know, with Ferrari, it's clearly there's some miscommunications or disconnection between what the calls should be made, what the calls at the factory are being made, what's you know, Binotto's saying on the box, and it's a big combination of things, you know. So we can't just blame the team principal. Yes, I think the team principal is the big part where they give the confidence to the team. They're the ones that are there to keep everyone calm or to show the emotion or stuff like that. As you can see with Toto, he's a very emotional guy when it comes to the races. And you know, when you have Corner and people like Toto who are, and even Gunther and all those guys, those team principals, they're very, very outspoken about what they need to see and how they keep their team so happy. Like when Magnussen got pole there, it was Gunther running around the pits, giving everyone high fives, hugging everyone. That's a team principle that everyone loves working for, you know.
Right.
I'm not saying Binotto doesn't do that, but you know,
he's got a different way of going about it.
Exactly.
If that's how he's going about it.
Exactly. So you know, I think in the end, Ferrari just got to realize, you know, it's a big picture type thing, and we have to figure out what the small cracks in that big picture are, and they can figure it out and turn it around for 2023.